Hey guys, we're going to be talking about theme. What is theme? So, a theme of a story, when we read a story, is the underlying idea or the big message of a story. So, this is not something that the author just tells you, it's implied, and it's usually um, much bigger than the events of the story. So, let's get into it. All right, a theme must be timeless and universal. And what universal means is that all of humanity could relate to it. So whether you are a 15-year-old living in Lake Stevens, Washington, um, in America in the year 2020, or if you're somebody from 100 years ago, different age, different country, they could relate to it as well because most of humans could relate to the message. And timeless meaning 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, today, tomorrow, most people can relate to this message. All right, here are the big ideas about theme: universal, implied, bigger than the story. We talked about universal, everyone can relate. Implied, we talked a little about that. It's when it means the author doesn't blatantly write it. So it's not in the story like the theme is blah, blah, blah. You have to be thinking about what's happening in the story to understand what the author is trying to convey to you. Okay, what kind of message is the author trying to teach us or open our eyes to? And then it's bigger than the story, it's bigger than the events, it's bigger than just what happened in the story. Okay, a theme is best expressed as a statement rather than one word. So instead of using just one word, the theme is blank, you have to have a full statement about it, and we'll talk about that. All right, this is what themes are not. They're not the summary of the story, they're not one word, and they're not the topic or main idea. A summary of the story is when you summarize, when you retell the events of a story. Okay. A topic or main idea is just kind of like overall what happened in the story. What was the biggest idea of the story? This is different. This is an underlying message that isn't said to us in the story. Okay, so keep in mind that a story can have more than one theme. So you won't necessarily be wrong if you choose a certain theme of a story. Themes kind of are presented to us in a way of like maybe just how we think about things. So a story can have lots and lots of themes, and themes can be shared by more than one story. So there could be the same theme in lots of stories. The reader does not have to agree with the theme. So you might think it's um, a little silly or dumb or something, but you don't have to agree with it, but it still could be the theme. All right, now we're going to talk about how we can kind of come up with theme. So you need to be thinking about what critical belief about life does the author convey? Why does it matter? So usually the author is trying to tell us something about life or teach us something about life or get us to think about something about life that everyone can relate to. Okay, so some of these things might be betrayal, love, war, death, freedom. These are just examples, okay? So here's an example, a very simple example, using the word life. And it says, life can take many paths. So this is a perfect theme statement. Just it's random. We don't have it attached to a story right now. But rather than just using the word life, you would put it into a statement. Okay, how can I figure out what the theme is? Here's the thought process behind that. You have to look at conflict, dialogue, characters, and what is described in great detail in the story. So conflict is a struggle. Sometimes it's a struggle between two characters. Sometimes it's a struggle between a character and his own mind or her own mind. Sometimes it's a character against nature, but it's a problem. There's a struggle, there's a conflict, and you have to think, why? Why is there a conflict? What caused that conflict? Okay. Then you can think about, well, what are the characters always talking about? What are they mentioning often? Okay, because that can give you clues into what the theme is. And the characters, how do they change? Sometimes a character goes through a deep change from the beginning of the story to the end of the story. And then anything that's described a lot or in great detail will help you figure out theme. Theme has two parts: central idea and the message about that central idea. So that's where we come up with those one words like betrayal, love, war, freedom. So here's an example with the word fear. So that's a central word or idea, fear. But the statement about fear, here's an example: fear can keep people from reaching their goals. So one is just an idea or a topic or a subject, one word, and the other is the actual statement of theme. All right, themes from the necklace. So we have to think back to the necklace and Madame Loisel, and these are just a few of the themes from that story. We could come up with more. So I have wealth, longing, and greed. All right, for wealth, I wrote, wealth can make you happy, but it can't buy real happiness. And then longing says, don't long for something so much that you forget what you have. Greed for meaningless objects in life can cause one to lose what means the most. So as you can see, there are lots of different themes for the necklace. Look at all these topics. These are topics for themes, and this is just some of them. So we have revenge, mercy, pride, status. This will be a good resource when we're trying to come up with topic words for theme statements. So you guys need to watch the videos on how to find theme and then do the Google form, which has questions for you about what theme is.